Hi, I'm Steph, and today I'm going to show you how I plant my fall bulbs. It's a little later than I typically do it. I'm in a zone 6 in the Northeast, and so the benefit of waiting a little bit was that I was able to find a bunch of tulip bulbs on clearance. So we're having some nice warm weather. We're in the 50s right now. As you can see, I have my Christmas decor out because it's December, but I'm going to go ahead and show you how I would get these fall bulbs planted. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the tulips and I'm going to throw them in my Gorilla cart and I'm going to mix them up. The reason for this is I have about 4 different varieties here and I want to make sure that I get a mixed display. So I'm going to take them all, dump them in this cart, mix them up before I get ready to plant them. You can take one when I have a bunch of them in here. So once you have all your tulip bulbs mixed up, what you want to do is you want to start working on your holes. I found over the years that the best ways to do it is, there's 2 methods that I prefer. First, you can use a shovel and you can kind of build or dig out a trough, and you can just mound all of your bulbs in that area and then you cover them back up. The other way is by using a drill with an auger. So I have this drill here, and you can get these auger pieces on, I purchased mine on Amazon, and there's different lengths, different widths. You just get what works best for you, and then you can start digging your holes. That one is not good.
Landscape fabric.
This here is a perfect example of why landscape fabric is bad. Essentially, it sounds like a good idea in the beginning because you lay it out and you think it's going to keep your garden weed free, but I found so many better methods of keeping your garden weed free. So if you can avoid it, I would be against using landscape fabric. So once you dig your holes for your bulbs, whether you use the trench/trough method or you dig individual holes with a hand drill and auger, one of these little hand trowels, or even those bulb tools, now you're ready to place your bulbs. I would recommend placing your bulbs first before you cover the holes back up, so that way you know where you have tulip bulbs. Say you have to get up for any reason, you might forget where you've planted things. Okay, the other important thing is you want to follow spacing instructions on the packaging. They'll tell you how many bulbs to place per square foot. I want these actually pretty densely planted, so I'm going to put 2 to 3 bulbs per planting hole. And you always want to make sure that you place them with the pointed tip upward. Recording me. It's the downfall of having your husband as a cameraman. He's trying to get you when you're not expecting him. You also want to make sure that you plant your bulbs to a depth of at least 6 to 8 inches. The reason for that is once the growth starts coming through the soil, you want to make sure that you have nice sturdy stalks. If you plant them too much to the surface, you're going to get a lot of foliage and the tuber might not be as sturdy as it can be. The last step, once you have all your bulbs planted where you want them, is to give them some food, some fertilizer to get them going nice and strong for the spring. So I really like to use this Espoma Organic Bulb Tone, but if you can't find this, you can typically find bone meal at any of the big box stores. So you can use either or. You don't have to use both. Whatever you have on hand. Now that I'm done planting, all that's left to do is cover up the bulbs. We got really lucky that the weather is still holding out, but really anytime in the fall that the soil is still workable is perfectly fine to plant. Squirrels love freshly planted bulbs, so one way that I found that deters them from digging them up is some Irish Spring soap. They won't eat it, but they don't like the smell, so it'll keep them away. So I bought this grater at the dollar store, and all you do is take your soap and make some shavings, and then you sprinkle this over the soil. And the last step to make sure that squirrels don't dig these up, I'm just going to sprinkle these shavings of Irish Spring soaps that I made earlier. If you don't have a squirrel problem, you could probably skip this step. There are also other organic methods you can use, but they won't eat these. They're just going to smell them and walk away. So that's it. Now I've planted all of my bulbs, so the only thing left to do is wait until the spring and enjoy the display. I am in the Northeast. I'm a zone 6 and in New England, and so typically I like to get these planted by like November, but I never got around to it this year. So luckily I was still able to plant some fall bulbs, and what you want to do is you want to definitely plant them kind of densely, right? So you can have a beautiful display. So sometime around April, I'll expect to see these starting to bloom, and I will report back. If you want to see photos of the progress, you can follow me on Instagram at HookedandRooted. Have a great day.